right, good evening everyone. Welcome to the demo day of Le Wagon batch 118. It's the first Le Wagon in Morocco. Thank you very much for being here tonight with us in Marrakesh. Tonight we're gonna introduce you the projects that our wagoners have developed in the last 3 weeks of the bootcamp. So maybe let me start by explaining a little bit what we do at Le Wagon and even why we're here in Marrakesh tonight since we started the bootcamp in Casablanca. I think we all agree that in the very DNA of Wagon, there's mobility. And we wanted to show here that we're super happy to come to Africa. It was the first African batch. We were super happy to do it in Casablanca, and we're super happy to be here tonight in Marrakesh to celebrate accomplishment and the achievement of this first batch. Tonight, as I said, you're going to see the outcome of the 9 weeks of the boot camp. These guys, most of them had not been exposed to coding before. They come from all walks of life. Rally was a student. Amin, his brother, is a musician. Reda is a real estate manager. The other Amin is a financier, and the only girl in the group. I think she deserves a special round of applause. Zainab, marketing and brand content manager. In Le Wagon, they learned a lot of things. They learned the programming basics. They learned, everything from HTML, CSS, JavaScript on the front end, how a software functions. But they also learned something very important. They learned how to develop and do a project together, and that's what you're going to see tonight. So a big round of applause to them for accomplishing this in the last 9 weeks. Tonight is a special night also because we have the pleasure of welcoming our guest of honor, who's also a fearless, audacious person. He's just come back from Spain, where he did the Ironman, and he came all the way from Rabat tonight to see you guys pitch. So thank you very much, and let me welcome on stage Mr. Tariq Fadli from the Digital Development Agency.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Hannah, for a wonderful event. I'm always pleased to speak to young entrepreneurs, and especially in the digital domain. My name is Tariq. I started 11 years ago. I started my first company as a startup. I left Microsoft and launched Algo Consulting Group. And today, Algo is a group. It's a holding of 3 companies. We have Algo, SGL Systems, and La Marocaine DI Service. So Algo is a company that's doing great. I started it with only 10,000 dirhams in my pocket and one-man show. Today, Algo is 70 engineers, great capital, 5 million dirhams, and an annual revenue of 40 million dirhams. And in 2013, it signed one of the biggest contracts that Morocco has seen in software development, which is the ticketing system for TGV. And that contract was worth 170 million dirhams. So, but I'm not throwing numbers to brag. I'm throwing numbers at you to tell you that the digital domain is the only domain where it's possible to go from 1,000 euros to 17 million euros in a space of like 6-7 years in a country like Morocco. So a few years back, I had the privilege of being selected by Endeavor, and I met one of the Endeavor investors. And this guy was fairly young. He was like 38, and just made an exit for $70 million. So 38, $70 million, you'd think he's done, right? Well, he's touring the world with his wife, and then he decided he's got $10 million that he wanted to invest, and he chose Africa to invest in. So when I met him, I said, let me ask you a question. Why here? Why Africa in general? And he said, because in Africa, you guys have problems that we don't have in Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, we're getting saturated. So you guys have more opportunities than we do. So a couple of years ago, or actually 5 years ago, that's when I met Smail. I actually met Smail in an innovation management course. And back then, I had this crazy idea. I got fed up with public procedures, and I thought, you know, this is really messed up. Why do I have to notarize my signature? Why do I have to deal with you know, government stuff all the time? I lived in the U.S. and I did all this stuff remotely. Why do I have to do it physically here? So I got this crazy idea, and I thought, you know, I'm going to try to do it. And what's crazy about when you get an idea, when you believe in it, people tend to tell you, hey, you're crazy, man. You're going to deal with al-muqata'a, al-qaid, and qaddam. You're really crazy. You can't digitize those people. And you see, you shouldn't listen to that. You should really listen to yourself. There is no crazy idea. There is no stupid idea. There is just ideas. Crazy, stupid, or good, it's up to you. It could be a stupid idea, but what are you going to lose from trying? So this crazy idea got me a lot of experience. It got me 0 dirhams. As a matter of fact, it got me minus 7 million dirhams. That's how much it cost to develop it. But it was a 5 years full of learning, of wonderful experience that I wish to share with everyone. So back in December, I was nominated by the head of the government as an administrator and expert for the newly created National Agency for Digital Development. And what's crazy and ironic, and a lot of people don't know about this, is that one day I was called by some parliament people asking me questions about this law, about this agency. So, you know, that's why it's not good to lie on your resume and write, you read and write in Arabic. Well, I do. I went to public school. So then they're like, here's a law, you should read it. And I'm like, it's in Arabic. It's like, you read Arabic? I'm like, yeah, but it's going to take hours. So I read that law, and my first reaction was, no, I am against the creation of this agency because the first paragraph says this agency is going to regulate the sector. We don't need regulation. The best thing you can do to innovation is leave it alone as a government. You know, let it operate. So we went through a lot of workshop and we modified this. And this agency today, I'm proud to be part of it because it really represents, first of all, for me, it represents a consciousness of Morocco as a country. That today, the digital area is more important than ever because, let me give you an example. As a Ministry of Investment, for instance, they know that it's costly to invest in a big factory. It takes infrastructure, it takes time, it takes skill development. It's heavy. It's hard to convince an investor to put €1 billion in a factory. It takes time. It takes process. However, digital is democratized. Look at today. Anybody here could really learn how to develop for the web. You just have one requirement. You have to want to do it. That's it. Okay? You can learn AI. You can learn blockchain. You can learn anything you want to do because it's all available on the net. So one of you guys could come up with an idea that's better than this $1 billion factory. You know, if we see the examples, we have examples today that we look at them. Personally, they inspire me. And I don't make a difference between Morocco and the States because when it comes to innovation, it's all here. I mean, it's a great opportunity, like I said. What's amazing about it is that you could be a software engineer and a businessman at the same time. So you could deal with both sets of problems. Technical problems using algorithmics, and then business problems where you need to develop some people skills and you need to, you know, just deal with stuff like we were discussing with Smail. Being an entrepreneur and engineer, it's all about solving problems. I mean, if it's easy to be an entrepreneur and wake up and have no problem, I think you're going to commit suicide. Because life is going to be so dull. So the digital agency actually now has as a role is one of the first objectives is to focus on startups, to have an inclusive approach to work with incubators and ONGs in all domains, in all types of services they provide to startups, to work directly with startups, to include a startup mind, because before the approach was, to have big companies like Morocco Telecom and Post Office, and these innovation doesn't come from these guys. Innovation comes from guys like you. So the purpose is to focus on startup, how to help startups, how to create a competitive environment, how to facilitate startups getting into a concept, get into building traction, and moving up with their business models. And also focus on education. How do we introduce a digital education in the public sector, especially in remote areas of Morocco where connectivity is still a challenge, where technology doesn't have that much penetration. And the third area is innovation. How do we help companies and multiple sectors in adopting innovation as an approach? Not just, let's wait for an idea to fall from the sky. How do we integrate methodologies to help them think in terms of innovation? And in this aspect, we're also trying to push some laws. I'll give you an example. When I started Algo Consulting, to win the first public tender, it was a miracle. Because what's crazy about our laws is that if you're a young startup, you just started, you have a good product, and let's say the Ministry of Education of Agriculture just launched a tender. Well, what they're going to ask you is they're going to say, please bring 3 certificates of reference. And my biggest question was like, how did the first company start? If you all have to have 3 letters of reference, how does a guy with a good product get started? So today, I'm very proud to push a suggestion of a law that will encourage big companies to co-sign with startups in order to win public tenders. That way, startups can have a chance to get a public reference as a letter, and that way, next time they could submit to a tender directly. And this is one of the aspects that we're trying to push. And lastly, there is a fourth dimension, which is blockchain. So as we have a dedicated expert to blockchain, I think pretty soon we're going to have another one dedicated to AI. So the agency as a whole is trying not to regulate innovation, on quite the contrary, to provide an environment that lets innovation and digital develop. So there are many challenges. There are big projects being prepared in the agency. A lot of people are waiting. But what I like about the team that I'm part of is that we have this inclusive approach. Like, everybody's welcome to contribute. We already did Digital Fikra, hashtag Digital Fikra, where we got over 360 ideas that were boiled down to 100 ideas that were voted on by the experts. So we're planning on continuing an open channel with all sectors. Innovation and digital belongs to everyone. So I'm going to close this by telling you one piece of advice. Find a problem. Find a problem.
Okay, thank you very much, Tariq, for this very inspiring speech. I think it's clear to everyone how Morocco has become a land where innovation is not only possible, but it's also promoted. So it's good to hear. You mentioned one thing about your first business. It's the social capital that you needed, which was 10,000 dirhams, if I remember correctly. And it reminded me of something that I have to tell you about Le Wagon. Le Wagon also started with a capital of 1,000 euros in France back in 2013 by 3 guys, Romain Paillard, Boris Paillard, and Sébastien Saunier, who went from witnessing the need for the startup scene, the Parisian startup scene, for more co-founders with a technical background. And from there, the first wagon started, and it was so successful that it spread all around the world. Now we managed to train more than 2,900 people around the world with 27 locations, Casablanca being one of those locations and the first one in Africa. So we're super happy tonight to be presenting the outcome of this first batch. It's great achievement, guys. Congratulations, you did a great job. It was tough. You all need to know that the bootcamp is tough. And to see it in details, we're gonna watch a little video, the bootcamp interview, to see them in action.
Well, I chose the Wagon because I already knew how to code, but in other languages I was more in research in applied mathematics. But the thing is that I was working in a company, and with very traditional company, traditional rules. And the thing is, I'm also have a passion. I'm a musician, and when I was working in the company I used to work in, I didn't have the time to do anything else but my work. So I started the Wagon to learn how to code new languages like Ruby on Rails, and be able to do some freelancing jobs or working in a more flexible way, I guess, and be able to do both.
Le Wagon, it's an incredible experience, and when you hear of it, like all the people that have done it before say that you have them before the Wagon and after the Wagon. And I wanted to get new skills. I come from the world of like communication and letters, so I wanted to be able to build something for real and be able to see what I was doing, like the outcome of it. So that's why I decided to join Le Wagon.
I joined Le Wagon because I wanted to be able to prototype all my ideas. I had many ideas, and what I missed actually is some technical skills, and I needed them to be able to do whatever I want and to code it by myself.
I love it. Actually, I was not expecting that, but I do love coding. It's not different than learning another language like French, English, or you just have to get to understand some rules like grammar and learn some vocabulary, and then you're done. And I do love it.
I love coding. Now that I am able to code my website, I'm very excited about it. And I can tell you that when I will finish Le Wagon, I will continue coding.
They were all different, I guess, in a way. The first week you get to learn something that's so far from everything you've done before, and then slowly, each week you get to learn something new, and you get close to your teammate, you build projects, you start thinking yourself as an entrepreneur, as a developer, and now we are at the project. You see yourself doing something, and you see this becoming real. And I'd say, if I had to choose, this is my favorite part. I don't think we are really facing challenges. We have a lot to learn and to process. So sometimes saying like, it's okay if I don't get to understand everything was for me the hardest part, because I wanted, when I got home and I was not like sure of what I've learned today, or was not sure that I understood it, saying like, it's okay, you get back to it and you'll understand it another time. It's okay if you don't get 100%.
I think that the biggest challenge was last week when we had to code Airbnb during 5 days actually, because we don't code on the weekend. So the biggest challenge was to do everything before Friday, end of Friday, and it's not really easy, for example, for us to work on the same group, and sometimes there are a lot of things that we cannot do together, and finally we did just a good website. I'm proud of it actually. When we finish the week, it's a good sensation to go home and to say, oh wow, this is what I did on only 1 week. So if you have more time, we can do something very special. I love yoga, and I still love it. The yoga session each Friday is a good session.
I like its craziness. I like the fact that it's a bit messy and sometimes it's painful, but sometimes it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of nice. I kind of like it. Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a startup scene per se in Casablanca. Also, obviously, I was with my family, so it made it a lot easier for me to cope with the day-to-day pace since I was getting home and I didn't have to do such thing as like just food, for example. I just have food on the table and I don't have to search for place. Like, there's a lot less friction within my day, which makes it easier for me. And also, it's been a long time since I haven't been home for such a long period of time, so that's always good also.
I really enjoy doing it. Personally, I'm married and I wanted in the beginning to do the Wagon in Paris before hearing that the Wagon was launched in Casablanca. So when I heard that it was in Casablanca, it was really perfect for me. So my wife told me, oh, it's really perfect, you can do it here and still stay with your family. So it was a perfect opportunity for me.
I would have been able to learn so much in such a short period of time. Like I said, I didn't know how to code anything, and now I know how to code. So.
I was very amazed by my capacity of learning that huge amount of skills in a short term, and also this capacity of learning each day something different.
They told me that coding was not for girls, and here I am and about to go in my first MVP. So yeah, if you want to do something, don't let other people tell you that it's not for you.
I feel great. I feel ready to break barriers and ready to rock the world. We'll see.
When I will finish, actually the end of next week I'm going to travel with my wife, but I'm very excited because I learned such a lot of amazing things, and it's just the beginning of a new life actually. I changed my life now. For example, after the Wagon, I will just continue learning and improving in those new skills.
Tired a little bit, but excited as well. We are working on our MVPs now. We have a lot of things ahead, but I'm really excited about it.
I feel confident about the future.
I learned a lot. Well, pretty much anything you can accept in terms of coding. I feel like I have superpowers now that I can code pretty much anything I want to code based on the internet, of course, not something a software or anything, but I felt like I've learned like a whole world of informatics based mostly on internet, but you kind of learn how the machines work, how the websites communicate with one another. You learn all the behind the curtain scene that is behind the internet.
Well, congratulations, guys. It was really good to see you on this video. It was really good to see some images of the bootcamp, which has been an intense experience also for your driver. We're gonna go ahead and have them pitch the projects they built in the last 3 weeks. We're gonna start with the Airbnb clone that's part of the bootcamp. Reda mentioned it in the video. It was the first time they, interacted in groups and started with doing a project together, which is collaborating on GitHub and a lot of other things. which gives me an opportunity maybe to just mention that right before that, they had gone through 6 weeks of intense learning. It was 300 challenges in the 6 weeks that they have completed. And I know some of them have done the optionals, so it's a little bit more than this. So again, it's a great achievement, and I want the crowd to know that this is the very first web app they've ever built in their lives. So please enjoy this, and they deserve a round of applause again. So.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Last Thursday night, when I was having dinner with my wife, she seemed exhausted, and she suggested us to go to Marrakesh for the weekend. But I told her that it was last minute, and I'm not really sure that there were still some rooms available, and the prices were very expensive. And that she told me that she heard about this this very great application, Rezos. It's a web app where you can have some discounted rooms. So when you go to the application here, you can, for example, enter the city. Here, basically, it's Marrakesh for one day. Okay, here are the here we have the list of the hotels that we can book. For example, we're gonna choose the Palmery Golf Palace. Okay, we have the location here. We're gonna book, for example, the double room. For 2 nights, yes. Double room, we book. Oh, super! I have my booking, so I can enjoy my weekend actually. Woo! So now, for example, I'm the hotel owner, and I would like to put my hotel in the application so I can put all my installed rooms. So now, for example, I will be the owner of Sofitel Essaouira. Why not? Yes, of course, I deserve it. And here it's in Essaouira. Of course, 5 stars. We can choose a photo of the hotel. This is my hotel in Essaouira. And now we're gonna make a quick. Yeah, it's okay. We can add a room, yes, of course. We will add, for example, a junior suite. Very expensive. But it is discounted, so for you, 2,000 dirhams. It's a good price, okay. Yes, you put the picture of the room. Then when you create the room, for example, we can test that we have our hotel in the list. So go, for example, here. Yes, 2 hotels, and put Essaouira in the city so we can see if it's displayed in the index. Essaouira, yes. Here is my hotel. Thank you so much. Do you have some questions? Of course, it's better than booking. You can have great deals here. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations. So again, congratulations, because these guys have built this in 5 days only, and it was their first project as a group, as a group of 5 people. So congratulations, it's a great job. Now we're gonna move to the word of beauty. We're gonna have Zainab and Amin present the beauty book, which is the best resource to get all the organic recipes for beauty. A warm round of applause, please, for them.
Few days ago, like a few months ago, I was in a wedding and I met this amazing woman. She had shiny hair and amazing skin. And I went and asked her, how do you do that? Like, it's amazing. She told me I use only natural products. I never go to the pharmacy. I do everything at home. I use natural products from Morocco. And she had this amazing knowledge about like beauty in Morocco and natural product and how to make everything at home. And I was, but everything you know, you should share it with everyone. My friends from Europe, they were always asking, how do a Moroccan woman have such amazing hair or such amazing skin? And it's thanks to this product. So this is how we came with the idea of building the beauty book, which is basically a recipe website, but instead of recipe for food, it's recipe for your skin, for your hair, to make you like the best version of yourself. So let's go ahead and thank you. So let's go ahead and introduce you the beauty book. So it works like a basic search. So now let's suppose I have dry hair. I'm gonna go and type dry hair. Please, Hamid, can you look for a recipe for dry hair? Oh, there is so many things with dry hair. Or dry skin, yeah, we can use a lot. Let's go ahead and look for this first henna with 30 herbs for dry hair. And let's suppose I've tried it. Can you go ahead and do a review for this amazing recipe? It changed my hair, it's amazing, it's now so shiny and great. Okay, your life, you need to, no, you rate it first. 5 stars, please. Go ahead. Okay, so now we have the recipe, but let's see, we want to see all the recipes. Can you go ahead and see all the recipes? You can sort the recipes by price, by simplicity, by popularity, and then it's perfect. We use basically Moroccan product with the Moroccan knowledge. Now, let's say I want to add a recipe. Can you help me add a recipe? Okay, the title is argan oil for hair. It's for hair. We upload the picture. We have a process that you have to go through. You add ingredients. Whatever, you can add an argan oil and egg, which is really great for hair. Go ahead, just with whatever you want. It's just for the sake of the demo. Just add the quantity. Okay. Rosemary is amazing as well. You can add it. Go ahead. Now we have to go and actually do it and give all the information that you need about a recipe to be able to do it. So the cost, the difficulty, it's really affordable. Amin, can you go with the cost, please? It's easy. And go with the description. Straight ahead, please. And add the tags. And we publish it. Everything together, but yeah. So now you are redirected to your personal page where you can have information, because it's also that you have a community around it with all the women that, or men as well. You can use beauty recipes, guys. So you can give information about you, your beauty routine, your tips you have to share with other people. But the recipe, it's not published straight ahead because we don't want other people to, we need like really strict guidelines. So there is a moderator that we have built that needs to validate all the recipes one by one, to make sure that they go with the guideline of the beauty book. The dashboard, the argan oil for hair that we've just prepared. We can basically change whatever we want to make sure that it goes with our guidelines, and we publish it because it's a perfect recipe, even if it has not. So now we go to all the recipes, we go back, and we have our argan oil cream. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Do you have any question? Thank you.
Congratulations, Amin and Zainab. I think you just bought yourself first users. I see my mom was very interested in the beauty book. Now again, congratulations, it's great. So the third app that you're going to listen to, the pitch tonight, has been built by Reda, Rali, and Amin. Come on stage.
Hello guys. So we're going to present you Open Closet, which is the app that we have been developing in the past week. If you've ever been on a trip, you know the hassle of luggages. You need to fold clothes, pack it, then drag it around in the airport, and during the whole time of the trip, it is something that is draining and time-consuming. In fact, more than 30 million luggages get lost in the airport every single year. It's a problem that has been around for ages, and we have come with a solution for it. So let me present you Open Closet. As I said, it's a peer-to-peer renting clothes. So here we're going to take the perspective of an owner. Let's say, go ahead and add a product. So let's say you have a blazer that's been hanging around in your closet for the past years, and you've only used it a couple of times, but you paid good money for it, and you might want to make some money off of it. So now you have a really simple solution. You go on the website, type in add a product. Here you type the title, Blazer Portsmouth. Yeah, 30 euro per day seems like a fair price to me. You upload the pictures. So you go ahead and upload the beautiful pictures of this beautiful blazer. Then you put in the address, the description. I think, yeah, it's in Casablanca. Sorry, you guys, if you wanted to rent it in Marrakesh, it's not possible, but you can add your products in Marrakesh as well. You put in the description, the gender. Yeah! The king of the party! Woo! You put in the gender, you add the product, and that's it. Now you're ready to make money off of a product that you paid for good money, but you only use from time to time. Instead of letting it sleep in your closet, you can make money off of it. Now, if we take the perspective of a renter, let's say you have a special event and you want to dress up, but you don't want to spend a lot of money to buy a product that you are only going to use once. So now you have the solution, Open Closet. You just go ahead, log in. You search the product that you want and the city in which you're in. So here, in this example, it's a blazer in Casablanca. And here you have all the products that fits the description and the research that you've done. Obviously, we're going to pick this one because it's a beautiful blazer, isn't it? And 30 euro per day, it seems like a bargain. Like if you need a blazer, 30 euro for one night is a great option. So go ahead and pick up the dates. Let's say it's for one night. Then you click on rent. It goes to a checkout page. You're going to pay with card. Don't worry, guys. It's just a demo. It's not real credit card number. Nobody will get charged. It would be beautiful if every website was like that, but you have to pay in real websites. So you pay with it, and what it does is it sends a request to the owner. Now the owner goes into his dashboards, and he can see all the requests that he received for his clothes. It's pretty much like Airbnb, but for clothes. Now, the owner has two options. Either he accepts it or he refuses it. If he accepts it, a conversation gets started between the owner and the renter to determine where and when the actual physical transaction will happen. Pretty much like Airbnb. That really is the magic of Open Closet. I mean, to tell you a little story here, guys, it's a true story. Like, I flew in from Paris, and my luggage did actually get lost. And I was kind of embarrassed because I wanted to look good for you guys. Like, come on, it's the demo day for us, it's a big day. And the problem is that I didn't have any clothes to put on. So my kind friend here lent me a t-shirt and a pair of jeans, but I didn't have any blazer to put in. I searched everywhere, then finally, Open Closet was the solution. The blazer I'm wearing right now might be the blazer that we just ordered. That's the magic of Open Closet. I mean, there's infinite possibilities to it. If you have a wedding, a gala,
an interview or whatever event that's important to you and you want to look sharp, you don't have to pay a lot of money to look sharp. You can just rent it and be the king of the night. That's it. It's simple. Open closet. Do you guys have any questions about the product? Yeah?
Can I have your price?
Yeah, well, it will be 35 euros. It's more expensive, but you can have it. I will list it, and if you want it, you just go ahead and pick it up.
It's a bit too costly. Take it for free.
The whole purpose of the website is to make money off of product that you don't use. So, yeah, you don't need it. You look good. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We poured our heart into this.
Congratulations, the team of Open Closet. I think it would have been very useful at some point in the bootcamp because we had one teacher coming from the UK who's lost his luggage and who got Reda helping him with a few clothes. Okay. So again, as you see, these guys have managed to pull this off in the last 3 weeks of the bootcamp. Most of them, if none of them, had exposure to coding whatsoever before the bootcamp, and they did this. So it's great. And again, I think you deserve another round of applause. We're very proud of you guys, and I am personally particularly proud of you because you're helping me make a point here, which is a personal point. 9 months ago, whenever I took this leap of faith and came back to Morocco to start my business, obviously I had a lot of people to meet, from public institutions to corporates to people involved in the startup ecosystem. But I think the first important person to convince is here in this room. It was my mother. Hello, I know how much you love being put under the spotlight, and basically, you know, I think in Morocco we have this culture of choosing the safest path, and it's not easy to allow people within your family to take such a risk. And it was tough at the beginning. So let me tell you a little anecdote that, you know, exemplify how hard it is to do entrepreneurship in Morocco. Whenever I registered my company, and it was also a 10,000 dirhams social capital company, I had to register it with the CRI, the Centre Régional des Investissements, which is supposed to help people invest and create companies, right? So after a good 10 days of back and forth, the typical Moroccan way, I called my mom to tell her about this accomplishment, and I told her, and to vent a little bit about this. And so, you know, she listened to me very patiently, which is very much in her calm demeanor. And at some point she said, "Ou d'abord, quand est-ce que tu vas chercher un vrai travail?" So I wanted to show her this is a real job, it is very real, the Wagon is very real, and these guys have coded very real projects. So again, thank you very much for helping me make this point. So I think, oh. Tonight we're celebrating accomplishments and entrepreneurship, and I want to say words on the very leap of faith these guys have taken in embracing tech entrepreneurship. I think it's very meaningful here in Morocco to do so, because we have, you know, a special mindset that's predominant, which is what I'd call the real estate mindset, which is kind of common in windfall economies. The real estate mindset and the software mindset are radically different. In the real estate mindset, it's very normal to put together architects and masons to work together towards building a great building that will just stay there and they can contemplate it. I don't think any of you guys will just contemplate what you achieved in the last 3 weeks. I think since you embrace tech entrepreneurship, you want this to evolve. Software is organic, and software is made to evolve. which I think is a huge change in the mindset, and that is a huge change in mindset that we need in Morocco. So you represent a lot, it's very meaningful, and I wanted to congratulate you because of this, very specifically. And since it's a graduation ceremony, we prepared a special thing for you, which is rather unique within Le Wagon, I have to say. It's very rare that we do this. But I'll have to welcome on stage again our guest of honor, Mr. Tariq Fadli, who will help me hand you the certificate of completion for the bootcamp. That's right.
Once again, it's an honor. Thank you. So
we want Reda Halib on the stage, please. Congratulations, Reda. Mr. Ralidob. Mrs. Zainab Bourdella. Mr. Amin Ben Said. And Mr. Amin Dab. Thank you very much, Tariq.
You're very welcome. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
And just so you know, I want to tell you, you're a wonderful mom. Same thing with my parents. When I told my dad I was leaving Microsoft, he stopped talking to me for a week. And now he tells people, I'm the one who encouraged him to get into entrepreneurship, but he was against it. So what's important is not always money, it's being happy, doing what we love doing. I think that's more important than building stuff.
That's true. Thank you very much, Tariq. And I have to be fair here because I didn't finish the story with my mom. So again, 9 months ago, she was very skeptical. And now she calls me every day to give me tips on marketing. And when I tell you it's every day, it's every day. 4 days ago, I was about to shoot the bi-weekly newsletter of Le Wagon Casablanca, which is, by the way, mostly read in Silicon Valley. So please make an effort in reading here in Morocco. And she called me right before to share the Alibaba eFounders application for an accelerator. And it was her. So I'm just saying this here to make the point that, you know, we need change, but change is happening. It's just a matter of starting it and be very willing to fight and take on the challenge. So you guys started this with the bootcamp. That's also what I did myself about a year and a half ago. And it's totally worth it. So again, congratulations. It's great. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here with us tonight to celebrate this. Before we go on and party, I'd like to make sure that I thank everyone in the team. So with me tonight, I have Hugh, and I have Victor, and I have Zakaria. You guys have been amazing, but I should also mention all the people that came from the UK, from France, from Canada, to help you guys learn to code and do these amazing projects. So Claire, Joanna, Margot, Sam, Andre from Portugal, and the rest of the team. I'd like also to thank the Groupe Lotus, who's hosting us tonight, and will be hosting us tomorrow as well for some relaxing moments post-bootcamp. I'd like to thank Tawfiq from the Emerging Business Factory, who's a very active actor of the emerging startup scene in Marrakesh. I'd like to thank pretty much everyone that's participated in the bootcamp. You said yoga earlier, Baba Luai. I'd like to thank everyone that's been supportive. I'd like to thank my mom, obviously. And yes, I think it's a great achievement. We're very proud of you. We hope you remain involved in the community. And again, Le Wagon is a community before anything. And I know some of you will work with us in the future in Morocco, so it's amazing. And that's it. I think we can go for another round of applause and start partying. Thank you.